Welcome back to the Busy Bee Chronicles. If you're new to the channel, my name is Chelsea, and this is my travel takeaway series, where basically I share with you everything that I learned from my trips after my trips. So this one is about my trip to Walt Disney World this summer. I also had a cruise on the Disney Treasure, which I did a separate travel takeaways video for so that you could learn everything specifically about that cruise. And after my cruise, I did go to Disney World. So this travel takeaway video is specifically to that portion of my trip. Now, I like to share with you everything that I kind of learned, maybe any tips that I have for you, likes, dislikes, different opinions that might help you make choices if you're planning a trip that is similar or going to the same places. So if you enjoy this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Now, this portion of my trip was much shorter than my cruise. I did a 7-night sailing on the Treasure, so that was the longest part of my trip. And then after my cruise, I went to Walt Disney World for 3 days. But I only went into the parks for 2 of those days. So the day of debarkation, after I got off my cruise, I drove straight back to Orlando. It was easy because we parked right there at Port Canaveral, so we just drove back to Orlando and checked into our new hotel. And I stayed at the Lake Buena Vista Village Resort and Spa. So I checked in on debarkation day. That day I spent kind of like going to Disney Springs, doing some more laid back stuff, and then the next 2 days we spent in Disney World. So let's go ahead and get into my getting around and where I stayed. So like I said, I stayed at the Lake Buena Vista Village Resort and Spa. And there are a ton of hotels near Walt Disney World, so I'm gonna go ahead and either put the address right here, or I'll put it in the description below so that there's no mistaking which hotel I'm talking about. But this is a really great place if you're looking for somewhere that's convenient, but you're not looking maybe for that really 5-star hotel vibe. If you're looking to feel like you are in luxury and really on vacation, this might not be the place for you. But if you're looking for somewhere where you can really spread out, get as much space as you can for your money, and be able to have some food and cook in your room, then this is a really great option. So I stayed here once before, and that was a longer trip where we actually got like a lot of food, we cooked, we kind of did our usual meal prep stuff at home so that we had that to take with us or eat when we were back at the room. This trip, I will say I ate out a little bit more than I did on that previous trip, but it is still really nice to be able to have a full fridge and a freezer when you come back to the room, or to have some things at least for breakfast in the morning, because often I like to eat breakfast before I leave the hotel and not wait until I get all the way into the parks. It also can save you a little bit of money if that's something that you're interested in, of having at least one meal a day not in the parks. Now, I love eating in the parks and there's a lot of good restaurants, but I do try to kind of have a balance and pick and choose and make choices with that. So about the hotel, it has a really great property. So something that I like is that even though it's a little more, self-service in the sense of you're not going to have a lot of room attendants kind of thing. They're not going to come and make up your room every day. You're responsible, take your garbage out, that kind of thing. You have a really great property still, as if you were at a resort hotel, and it is considered a resort. So they have a pool area that has a pirate ship in it. It's super cute. There's a slide, and it's nice. It's designed very well. I haven't even got to go enjoy the pool space, but I've walked through it and I could always see it usually from a room that I stay in. I've been fortunate to have a room with a view of the pool area. And it just looks really nice. Like you could easily spend a day there and enjoy your resort if you didn't want to be in the park every day of your trip. Like the name suggests, they also do have a spa there, so there are some spa services that if you choose to indulge in that you can enjoy. There are a couple restaurants. There's basically a road between 2 of the properties, but it's very easy to cross. So I think there's 5 towers. Don't quote me on that one, but there are a few towers there. So depending on which one you get in, you could be across from the pool property, but most of the towers are around the pool space. So it's very nice outside. I think it's landscaped nicely, it's taken care of. Parking is self-parking, and I've never had a problem coming back and not having a spot, so that's a very important thing too. There's always a parking place to park near your room. because there's parking sometimes under the buildings, and then there's also some parking around the property. But there was always a spot nearby. I never felt like I had to park really, really far, or there was no double parking, nothing like that. In some hotels, you get to, and then you get a surprise when you come back from the parks late at night. But that never happened here, so parking is a good situation. They do have some luggage carts that you can use yourself. They're self-serve. They have them in the elevator areas. So that's also really nice, especially if you do choose to go ahead and stock your kitchen with some items. If you go shopping, it makes it really convenient to have somewhere to load those up onto a cart and then bring them up to your room. Now, unfortunately, I did not get a great view of this room, so I apologize. I didn't have a great walkthrough because when I got there after getting off my cruise, I was way too early, of course, to check in, but they let you go through the check-in process and then they'll call you when the room is ready. But I didn't want to waste my whole day waiting for my room to be ready. So I ended up actually getting back to my room really late that night. I was tired and I did not get a good walkthrough in the dark or anything. So I do have this short video here of after my stay, so this gives you a little bit of an idea of the layout of the space. I had a 2-bedroom suite. There are, I believe, 3-bedroom suites, so depending on what your needs are for how many people, but every room does have a kitchen and a washer and a dryer. So that is just very, very cool if it's something that you need and want, that every single room has that. You don't have to worry that you're going to get a room that might not have that. But you can see we had 2 bedrooms. There is a large bath in what is sort of the master bedroom, and then there's a small bathroom next to the additional bedroom. And then in the living space, there's a couch that also will fold out into an additional bed if you need it. There's also a balcony and a kitchen table there if you like to sit and have breakfast or dinner or anything right there at the table. That's kind of a nice spot. Everybody, if you had that many people staying in the room, if you filled the space, there was somewhere for everybody to sit. And I think that's really nice because sometimes you go places where the sleeping capacity is there, but then there's nowhere to sit. There's nowhere for people to sort of enjoy themselves. So there was that in this space. Okay, so that's about where I stayed. And then as far as getting around, I did use Avis rental car. And a part of when I get a rental car there is that I also get the visitor toll pass, which I talk about in my previous travel takeaways video about the cruise. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and go check out that video. That would be my last one for my treasure sailing. But yeah, I had a rental car, and that just makes things very easy and convenient to get around to and from the parks. But you should know that they do have a shuttle that you can take if you need it from this resort. So you do have to pay attention to the times, and I would contact the front desk about that because those are things that could change. So reach out to the hotel if you're interested in utilizing that shuttle, but that is something that exists. And also at the time of recording this video, I don't believe that there was a cost to that. But again, these are things that can change frequently, so I would double check with the hotel before planning on that. But I thought it was really cool that they were so close, and if you needed it, there was an option if you didn't have a car. Okay, so now let's talk about what I packed. Did I pack the right stuff? And similar to the cruise portion of this trip, the only thing that I didn't end up using was my umbrella. Now, I have used my umbrella before in Disney World, so I will say it might be something that I would still consider bringing, but not for the rain. I don't feel like it helps in the rain. The rain is just too heavy. I'd rather throw on a poncho or a rain jacket if I feel that I don't want to get that wet. But for the sun, having a actual sun parasol that blocks out the light from coming through it, that was very nice, I know, on one of my previous trips when we just had much hotter weather than this recent trip. So I had some pretty good weather on this last trip, but my trip before that, it was really hot, and it was nice to just have a little patch of shade when you have a long walk with no coverage. That umbrella was very helpful then. And then something I was really happy that I did bring was my packable backpack. And this was a new one that I had got. It's small, it doesn't hold a lot, but it's very comfortable and it holds it against your body with your stuff close to you, so it doesn't feel as heavy, and it also limits how much stuff you can put in it. That's what I learned. So if I can limit how much stuff I put in it, it's not so bad. But it does give you a place to keep, maybe your purse items, your water bottle, your hat if you wanted to take it on and off. anything else that you want to have with you, just some small essentials. It gives you somewhere to put it and be hands-free without it being super bulky. So I recommend a packable backpack for Disney World for sure, just because you can have some stuff on you without it feeling really cumbersome. Okay, so now let's talk about the food. How was the food? So first of all, like I said, we did have a room with a kitchen, and I didn't utilize it as much this time as my last stay at Lake Buena Vista, but I did grab some stuff for breakfast. So right around the corner from that hotel, there is a Publix, which is a very popular grocery store if you're not familiar with it in Florida. And it has like your basic essentials and things, so you can go and grab that. It's literally like 3 minutes away. It's very, very close to the hotel. So if you do have a car, you can get there in a couple minutes, grab some water, few food items, whatever, and bring it back to the hotel. Really, really easy. So that's what we did for breakfast. I had some stuff there so that breakfast was at least convenient and I didn't have to wait until I got into the parks. And then I always keep a few things in the fridge or whatever for when you return at night. So in case you're hungry, have something there. But I did eat more in the parks this time. So somewhere that I found that was really good, and I was fortunate I didn't have a reservation at all. I didn't make any plans for food, but I ended up getting into the San Angel restaurant in the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot. And that restaurant, it was very good. Very good Mexican food. So I would recommend eating there. I ate there twice in such a short trip. I actually ate there twice, but it was very nice. And I got 2 different things both times. So you have to go check out my vlog so you could see the food. But very good. Everything that my whole party got, everybody liked what they got. The service was very good. The ambiance was nice. I kind of compared it to, like, if you're familiar with Disneyland, it was the Blue Bayou experience where the boats from the Grand Fiesta Tour kind of go by. So you have sort of an environment that you're sitting in because you're right next to the ride, only it's a different theming, right? Because you're in the Mexico Pavilion. So that was a really nice place. I loved the food there. And then the other place that I tried, and I did not have a reservation for as well, which I must say, please get a reservation because it just takes too long if you don't have one. But I didn't have any plans, so it worked out for me. But at the Cake Bake Shop, I ate at the restaurant side of it, and the food was very good. I got pasta, which sounds like, you got pasta, but it was great. Someone else in my party got the gumbo and loved it, so the gumbo was great. So I do recommend getting reservations for there. It's not just a pretty experience because I was worried that I was like, is this just, you know, a really beautiful place to go eat? Or is it something where the food is really good too? The food is really good too. So definitely go check that out because it was nice. I liked it. And very good portion sizes. I literally ate half of my food and brought the other half home and ate that later. So I would try that if you get the chance, but make reservations early on if you don't want to have to go on the wait list and sit around for a while, because I had to wait a few hours. Oh, and I also tried Summer House on the Lake at Disney Springs, and that was very good as well. Whole different kind of food. It was very like fresh Californian as I've heard it described, and I would agree with that. I got just a sandwich, but it was very good. I would totally eat there again because I liked it, and they had some great salads and different options like that. So things that I found were kind of hard to find there. That restaurant had those kind of things, some like salads and sandwiches and just some more fresh items that I felt like. So I would check that out if that's something that you're looking for when you're at Disney Springs. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump to my dislikes or my difficulties, which is hard because, you know, I loved my trip and I wouldn't say that I disliked anything so much that it was very impactful, but, you know, things that maybe were not my favorite, we'll put it that way. Trying to find food like a salad was just really hard to find. Something as simple as that. And just like a plain salad. I didn't want a fancy salad, just a plain salad. That was really, really hard to find anywhere. And then also like their park closes earlier than what I'm used to. Disneyland's always open to midnight, although I think that is changing soon. So that was disappointing to really have to watch your time in the evening, especially in Florida where once the sun goes down, I'm like, cool, I want to enjoy more time in the park when the sun is not out as much because it's really comfortable at night there. It's so cool. It's like, it's warm, your body temperature is perfect. So that would be when I would like to spend some more time in the parks, and then they close. So that's disappointing, and I would love to have that change, but I'm sure there's very important reasons why they have to close early. And also I would have loved to have had some more days, but that's just a me problem, not anything else. I would love to have had a couple more days in Disney World tacked on to the end of my trip, because I've got to fly all the way out there. So whenever I make a trip, it's nice if I can lengthen it a little bit and get some more time, you know, for the effort and the money of flying all the way to Florida. So a couple more days would have been nice, because I didn't get a chance to visit Animal Kingdom this time, which was disappointing because I really do love Animal Kingdom. But with the hours of trying to get there, I feel like that's a start your morning park, like go there early because they close the earliest. So I just didn't end up managing to do that. So more days in the park would have been great, but again, that's a me thing. As far as the hotel, I'm very happy with it. I would stay there again, but something I would say is that it's very worn. It's a little bit dated, it's a little bit old, it's clean, so everything functions and it's fine, but there's definitely some stuff that like it needs replacement. My room in particular that I got this time was had a lot more wear and tear than the first time that I stayed there. There was, you know, like blinds were struggling to open and close. Some pots really needed some replacement. They were like a little burnt, and the tea kettle, you know, was burnt. You didn't want to use that. Some stains on things that were definitely stains, because I always go through and clean as well, and they didn't come up, you know, but just things that they don't look great. They need to replace and update some appliances and things like that. The washer and dryer had something in it when I went in to use the dryer, I believe. The dryer had something in it, like maybe somebody put something in it that melted. And so I had to clean that out before using it. So just some little things like that it's like a little bit more attention to detail would be great, replacing some really old items, and then maybe painting, that kind of stuff. So just wear and tear for sure on the hotel was there, and it would be nice if that kind of got fixed a little bit. And service is nice and it's in a good place. So I would stay again. I just hope that maybe those are some things that they improve on. Okay, so now on to some of my favorite things and best moments, and I have some little notes here just so I don't forget anything. One, I rode Tiana's Bayou Adventure for the first time. I still haven't rode it in my own park in California. But I loved it so much. I think their outdoor queue is so cool. It's got like its own little space. Obviously they have the space for it in Florida, but beautiful. You get to like have music, you're walking through, you know, a bunch of different spaces. So I really love the queue, and I loved the ride. It was happy. Also, they have much more comfortable ride vehicles than ours. Like in ours, you're literally in the middle, single file in a log. And theirs, you feel a lot more comfortable sitting side by side in the way the ride vehicle sits. So I very much enjoyed that. And then Cosmic Rewind is always my favorite ride, which is nothing particular to this trip. I love it. I love that ride. Still haven't got September, but I love that ride. The Cake Bake Shop, I was really excited to get to go to that because I had wanted to visit it, and the store was so cute. So yes, they get you with the glitter and the prettiness. And I got a couple macarons there, which actually were very good as well. So at least it was good to know that after seeing all of the pretty, you know, advertisements and stuff like that, it did taste good. It wasn't just about looks. So definitely go check it out. And I got to enjoy the boardwalk at night. I hadn't been out there at night. So because I didn't get reservations and I had to wait around for a few hours to go eat, I got to see the boardwalk at night. So it was a good thing anyway. And then I got to take my time in Epcot this time. So it was really nice to just get to kind of linger, because at this point I've visited Disney World. I've seen all the stuff that I don't have over in Disneyland. So I got to just kind of redo the stuff that I enjoy the most and dawdle a little bit. So I really did enjoy that. Oh, and I rode my very first upside down roller coaster. I went on Rock and Roller Coaster, which is in Hollywood Studios. And I popped over there to make sure that I got to ride that, because I know they were changing the theming of it soon. I don't know when. I don't know if a date was announced yet, but it's not going to be Aerosmith anymore. I think it's going to be like Muppets or something. So I wanted to ride it because I like Aerosmith too. And I hadn't gone upside down. So I was a little nervous, but I did it. It was fun, but I have to say that's a rough coaster. It was a lot. It was a lot going on. And then after I came home, I rode Incredicoaster, and that one I feel was a little bit smoother. So now I'm okay with going upside down. At least I know that, but that was a big moment. Okay, so now let's get into my top tips. So these are things that from this experience of this trip are things that I think would be really helpful for you if you are planning your own trip. So number 8, prepare for rain any time of year. So they do have seasons that are a little bit more rainier than others, but in Florida, honestly, expect just a random downpour in the middle of the afternoon, and then it can clear up sometimes and not rain again for the rest of the day. So if getting wet is very annoying to you and you want to be prepared with a poncho, umbrella, waterproof shoes, whatever it is the case may be for you, just make sure that you come prepared for that because it can be kind of random and a lot at one time. I come from California, so that amount of rain is just, I'm excited and I'm like, this is so cool. I'm usually in a drought. So it's just kind of fun for me, but I can also see how it can be annoying depending on what you have with you or, you know, kids and everybody being wet the rest of the day. So just prepare for that. It can be any time of year, lots of rain. Number 7, try new places to eat even though I know you want to go back to the same places that you like. I was really excited that I tried some new places this time because I wouldn't have found them if I didn't go to new places. So eat at the places you like that you already know about, but also try something new maybe on each trip because they have a lot of different choices there. Number 6, especially if you're from over here in California, ride Tiana's Bayou Adventure over there because it's more comfortable. So I'm sure it's great in both parks, but their ride vehicle is definitely more comfortable. Number 5, if you want to see fireworks, whether you're in Epcot or Magic Kingdom, but you don't want to do the madness of getting a spot super early in the day, you can see their fireworks from like everywhere in their park. It's very cool. I love it so much. I think I watched them from Frontierland. I could see them from Tomorrowland. Just all the spots. They're huge, they're big, the music plays. The only thing you're gonna miss are the projections. You won't see the projections necessarily, but honestly, it's still a great show. And if it gets you out of that waiting time and something that you don't wanna do, it's worth it. Number 4, when you pay for parking and you come in to park in one of the lots of the Disney parks, whether it's at the Ticket and Transportation Center or it's specifically maybe Hollywood Studios or Animal Kingdom, that parking ticket that they give you is good for all of the different parks throughout the entire day. So you can change parking lots if you have a park hopper or something, and you can move your car throughout the day as many times as you need to. It's not a, you have in and out privileges and you've already paid for those lots. So I think that's really nice that they do that and you're not having to pay in order to move your car to a different park. Number 3, make sure you do your research on what restaurants you'd like to eat at, and if they take reservations, make those reservations, right? Sometimes we get lucky. I got lucky. I had to wait a few hours and I got into what I wanted, but there are a lot of places that do take reservations, and if people are booking up for their trips really far in advance, you don't want to miss out on that. So just make sure that you don't miss anything that's really, really important that you want to go to. Number 2, when you go through the security there at Disney World, it's a little different than Disneyland. And again, I compare because I'm over here in California. But their security is pretty cool. You just walk through. You don't have to stop and then check your bags or anything unless you're pulled aside. So basically their system is you walk through, and then if they see something that was scanned as you walked through their machines, then you go off to the side and you do the typical open the bag and they're going to check everything. Now, when you walk through, if you have an umbrella or a power bank or something, or even I had somebody with me that had a really heavy eyeglass case, hold it out in front of you as far as you can when you walk through so the distance is separate from your body and they can see what it is. But you have to take it out of your bag. So if you just hold your bag in front of you, I noticed that that didn't really work. They still pulled me aside and it was like always my power bank. So just make sure you pull those things out if you don't want to have to go through your bag. It limits your chances of having to go be pulled aside and do that, but also be patient with them. They're doing it for security purposes, and if they need to check your bag, they just need to check your bag. And my number one tip would be to get a park hopper. And I know that's a little controversial. Some people are like, don't get the park hopper, or you don't have time to get to and from the parks. I think it depends on how you do Disney World and maybe your party. If you have a bunch of little kids, I understand that maybe little kids, that would be a little bit harder to get in and out of transportation quickly, especially if you had strollers or any mobility devices. But if it's something that your party feels willing to do and that they could do, I really do recommend the park hopper, because you get to get your favorite parts of each park in each day. So for example, I do love Cosmic Rewind, and if I only picked, one park per day, I would only get to ride that on the day that I visit Epcot. With a park hopper, I've been able to go in, I ride it, and then I can leave that park and go to the other parks and enjoy different things about those ones. So I literally have been to 3 parks in one day and enjoyed different things about them. Does it mean I get to do every single thing in each park? Absolutely not. So I think if you're going there on your first trip and your plan is that you want to see everything in each of the parks, then maybe it's not for you. But I know for at least my party, we like to do the park hoppers because it really gives us flexibility and what we feel like doing. And there's transportation even if you don't want to go move your car. You can take the monorail, there's the Skyliner, there's buses that go between all of the parks and the resorts. So they do have a lot of transportation just on Disney property that's available to you for free. So I think they make it really convenient, and yes, things are far from each other, but I don't know. I got a lot done in a day with a park hopper. So if it's something that you think you don't mind doing, I think in a way it will save you money, because park hopping in one day could eliminate you having to add on another day. But if you want to be there for multiple days also, you just have to kind of weigh it out. But I do recommend it. I think it works really well. Okay, who is this trip best for? Now, obviously, any trip to a Disney park, you should be a Disney fan. It should be something that you enjoy. It is a theme park. If you enjoy the theme park experience, then it's for you. If you're someone who prefers the relaxing vibes of a cruise and you don't like the chaos of a theme park, like anywhere, this might not be the trip for you. But I do think in general, Walt Disney World has kind of a park for everybody. You've got Animal Kingdom that is really fun with the animals, right? You get kind of connected with nature. It has its own vibe going on. You've got Epcot that has a lot of different food and beverage items, and you're subjected to different things around the world. So it's got its whole theme going on. Magic Kingdom gives you those, nostalgic Disney vibes. And then you've got Hollywood Studios that, again, in itself has its own theme going. There's rides for every age, there's shows for every age, different types of food in different parks. So I really think that it is something for the whole family. It can be for adults only. It could be for people with little kids. I think as long as it's something that you enjoy the theme park experience, that you'll definitely enjoy Disney World. And then of course the question of, would I do it again? And of course I would do it again. I've already done it before and I loved it, and it's what brought me back to do it yet again. So I hope that in the future I'll be able to maybe get another day in and not be limited to only a couple days. But also when I'm backing it up to a cruise, it starts to make a very long trip. So I'm hopeful, because it would be great to get to do it a little bit more leisurely than I'm used to. But yeah, I love it. I think Disney World's a lot of fun, especially since it is so different than Disneyland. It's from my home park, so it makes it definitely vacation-y, because it has so much to offer, and every time I go, I see something new, I do something different. So that's just really exciting that it's always something new for me. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed being here with you and sharing all my thoughts and opinions, and I hope they were helpful in case you're planning your own. So if you're interested in any of my other trips, whether it's my vlogs or my other travel takeaway videos, please check out my channel, because I have a lot more there and a lot more to come. So until next time, thanks for buzzing by.